if your good friend, again, opened up to you and were like, do you like me? She's given you all of the runway. Why would you not just go?
You're not a straight man. You are not an incel. That's what the difference is. This is what I think is smart about the film, is that it is portraying a sense of entitlement while also being an absolute coward.
Ooh, wait. No.
Listen. Wait.
I hate you for that.
Let me fix it. Welcome back to Let Me Fix It, the podcast that says, you want to know how to fix it? Write a check. I'm Francesca Ramsey. I'm a TV writer. I'm an actress, a producer, and a social media strategist.
And I'm DeLon Grant. I'm an actor, singer, writer, photographer, and an educator. Who's that one from?
This week's tagline comes to us from our inbox from Chris, and they included a very sweet note that says, I love the podcast. Thank you for bringing me joy every week. Class, if you don't know, I do have a song called Instead of an Empty Apology, Write a Check. So that's what this tagline was referencing. If you want to send us a tagline, you can send it to us as a voice note or just email us, letmefixitpod@gmail.com, and we might include you in the show.
Class, today I was tortured by Francesca. So if you have not heard about this film that people are obsessed with, people are really talking about this film. It's called Obsession. It's a new kind of psychological thriller, but more horror on the horror side of things. Fran texted me and was like, hey, I think we should watch this film. It's in the theater. How many times have I gone to the theater in the last year? So this was like one of 3 times I went. Fran, why this film? I think you already had a date to see it, but why this film? And what were your thoughts about it?
Okay, well, class, if you don't know what the movie is about, I'll tell you what the logline says. It says, after breaking the mysterious one-wish willow to win his crush's heart, a hopeless romantic finds himself getting exactly what he asked for, but soon discovers that some desires come at a dark, sinister price. And DeLon, I wanted to challenge us to try and talk maybe like 15-ish minutes without spoilers, and then we can actually have like a real spoiler deep dive in case people are watching and they haven't seen the movie yet. But to answer your question, I saw people talking about this, and like I saw a lot of men actually being upset and not understanding like what the movie was about.
Interesting.
And I saw like women going back and forth and being like, clearly you didn't watch the same movie that I did. And I was like, whoa, like this is interesting to me. I didn't want to, there was discourse. I didn't want to spoil it for myself. But then I saw like the opening weekend numbers were huge. This movie has grossed $148 million worldwide on a $750,000 budget. So it is like a indie in the sense that like $1 million for a movie is pretty low.
Yeah.
And it's done really, really well.
Yeah, it is it's only the second film in its third week to make more money than it did in its first and second. E.T. in 1982 was the last time that happened.
Wow.
So it's like going gangbusters.
Yeah. And like, there's just so much interesting stuff here. DeLon, I don't know if you did any like deep dive on the writer director, Curry Barker. He's a YouTuber. He has 1.2 million followers on YouTube, him and his friend, Cooper, who plays Ian in the film. They have a YouTube channel and they've been doing these comedy sketches. He's only 26 years old.
Wow.
And
good for him.
You know, it's kind of like a really cool moment. There's another film that's doing really well, but it's an A24 movie, Backrooms.
Backrooms, yeah.
Yeah, and the guy who directed that is 20 years old and also came from YouTube. So there's kind of this like moment of like, oh my God, Hollywood has really been struggling and kind of investing in, you know, these IP and these big franchises and these big stars. And then like, here come 2 indie horror movies with these like young directors from YouTube, and they knocked it out of the park. And I just was so excited to be like, I gotta see this for myself. And honestly, I think it lived up to the hype. I'm curious to see what you thought about it, DeLon.
Well, you know, I want to say one thing about the Hollywood of it all and kind of the industry. I say this when it comes to Broadway a lot too, but I think it's all entertainment industry, right? The idea that like Hollywood just kind of repeats itself. That worked, so let's just do that over and over. And I get it. Like the Exit IP, like you were saying, is what they're producing a lot of the MCU universe, right? They're taking Disney's taking animated films and making them live action because it's cheaper. Right?
Enough.
Like, we're tired of it.
Yeah.
But I think it just goes to show you, like, when you're talking about this budget being what, 700 you said, or 750?
750.
750, and they're making millions of dollars. It just says to Hollywood, like, hey man, if you just invested a little less and thought about the art of it, you actually could do more than you think, right? And it's also, I guess this is just kind of like the renaissance we need, right? Maybe old.
I hope.
Well, it's kind of, remember when old Hollywood used to be, we used to have the what do you call it, the
studio system
where the studio system, right? That is no longer a studio system. Class, if you don't know, is like Greta Garbo and all of those, Clark Gable. They were actually signed on to these studios, MGM and Paramount, right? They were signed and they got a salary on a regular basis to do however many films that those studios wanted them to do. That went away, and then we just had actors who had agents who do different projects all over. So I think this is probably a renaissance, right? Like, hey, that our current studio system is clearly not working, and it's like kind of fading out, perhaps, and that maybe this is there are other studios, indie studios, that are going to start doing a lot more of the work.
I don't know. I want to believe. But I worry that Hollywood often takes the wrong message away from these successes, right? Like I think kind of like the heated rivalry of it all, which we've talked about a number of times on the show, is like, what works about these movies is it's, these are actors who are working actors, but there's no like big names in these movies. Like they're people who've been in some little movies and TV shows here and there, but they are untapped in that respect. And then similarly with these directors, like these are young people who've made their own independent stuff on YouTube and are now having this incredible opportunity, and they are delivering, and they're being heralded as like, this lightning in a bottle. And while they're clearly very talented, there are lots of talented people on social media making cool stuff that with the right amount of money and support could also go on and have these huge movies if people supported them.
Well, I hear what you're saying, and I think you're still thinking in the paradigm of like Hollywood, and what I'm saying is like old Hollywood went away, the studio system went away, and I think this is like with them selling everything off, Warner Brothers and everything. I think this is also going away, and the next crop is just people being independent and a new, not necessarily A24.
No, to be fair, these are not. Yeah, these people are not independent in that respect.
I hear you, but I'm just saying like there's new blood, there's potential for something else, right?
Yeah. I hope that's what my hope is. But unfortunately, I worry that Hollywood will go, great, let's make Obsession 2. Let's make Obsession 4. Like, let's just keep making this movie.
I hear you. And let me the artist way with you, right? Sit in that hope. Don't go, but
no,
X,
Y,
right. And Z. Sit in that hope. And just hope that there's more that's created.
Wow, who are you?
I've been doing pages every day.
Okay, look, I think we've given enough time to talking about the movie without spoilers. Class, if you have not seen this film, we are going to start talking about the ins and outs of it. So skip ahead, come back if you need to, and lock in after you've seen the film.
Locked
Delon.
in. That is the new fucking phrase. Everyone's
is
going,
it?
I'm locked in. Oh my God. I'm doing
is
a show
new?
no, it's not new, but everyone's, everyone's saying it right now. Like vibe. It's just vibes was like, 5 years ago. I have these little kids that I'm working with right now that are saying, I'm locked in. Are you? 12-year-old. Amazing.
Okay, Delon. What? Okay, so Delon texted me. Texted me during the previews to say that he was terrified. The movie hadn't even started yet, and he was like, "Girl, what have you got me seeing?" The
guy next to me, the very first preview, I screamed so loud, and the guy next to me was like, "Oh," he was like, "Oh, are you prepared for this movie?" I was like, "No, my best friend made me watch this film, and and like all the other previews were not horror, but like the first one was some church horror movie, and I was like, this fucking thing's gonna make me so uncomfortable."
So you didn't know anything going in?
I didn't know. Friend, I had to look up the name in the text again and be like, what movie am I going to see? I knew nothing about the film, who was in it, anything. You did tell me it was a horror movie, so I was like preparing myself for that. Got a drink before. I was like, let me loosen up, Um, yeah, like horror's not my genre. Horror's
Right.
just not my genre. Like I
Mm-hmm.
realize I don't like being scared.
Right.
More my genre, if adjacent to this, I kind of said that it was like a little bit more of a psychological
A
thriller, which I think
thriller.
is
Yeah.
it's in there a little bit, but I'm way more psychological thriller. I'm more of a Jordan Peele. Like
Mm-hmm.
that is kind of like I'm more like, oh my God, what is going to happen? Not like what the fuck is happening, you know? And this movie was like, what the fuck? Even the guy next to me, we kept being like, what the fuck? What is happening? Stop. Why is this bitch all of a sudden in the ring? You know what I mean? She's like sitting in the dark, like, oh, Carol. I was like,
This
no, 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 no,
move.
no, no. Oh my God. So I concede that like it's not my genre, but what I will
Mm-hmm.
say is the script is really well organized. I think the script is well
Mm-hmm.
organized. I don't know that it's super well acted, if I'm honest. Like,
Really? You didn't like
yeah.
my girl. You didn't like my girl. I think her name is Indy. Is how you say her name. The girl who played Nikki,
I thought she
the
was
main
good. You know
girl.
what? No, I thought she was good. I think the setup wasn't super great. The first scene when they drop us in, I really liked that premise. Like there
Mm-hmm.
was a misdirect in the beginning, right? And then we get
Yes.
to that bar scene where you see like there are these four friends and they're just friends, but everyone kind of
But there's a
likes one
little,
another
there's a little,
class.
yes, they're in a little love hectagon or,
Yes,
something
yeah.
where you can tell that there's,
Quadrangle.
yes, that, that there are some tensions there when we meet Bear and that he clearly has a crush on this girl, Nikki, and he doesn't know how to tell her. And this is my question to you, DeLon, because this is part of the discourse. Who, if anyone, do you see as the villain in this film?
Ian.
Bear, the man, or well, the
No,
friend.
the friend.
Oh, okay.
So class. So there's Bear, who's the lead. There's Nikki, the guy she's interested. Sorry, the woman he's interested in. Then there's Ian,
Ian, the
his best
friend.
friend, and then
Hmm.
there's Sarah, who's
The
another one of their
arts,
friends. They
yeah, the art
all
school
work
girl.
at this record store, which
Hmm.
also is like what record store? in 2026, what record store? But I
Yes.
concede. I concede.
Hmm.
So I think all of this could have been avoided from jump. And I guess that's the premise. That's how the
Yeah.
whole movie turns on this thing because Ian had been we found out later in the movie that he had been sleeping with Nikki, but
Despite Bear having a crush on Nikki and
but
asking
Bear
Ian to
said
help her.
yeah, Bear, the whole
Yeah.
first scene is Bear being like, I'm about to tell her that I love her. And Ian just keeps saying, no, don't tell her. He should
Hmm.
have said, I've
Yeah.
been sleeping. You're my best friend.
Yes.
I've been sleeping with her for months.
Hmm.
Don't do that because she doesn't like you. Right.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
guess then the film doesn't happen if that happens.
Yeah.
So I just like didn't
Well,
believe that.
okay. So here's the thing, though. That's interesting to me. Yes, I do think Ian is a bad friend, but I really think that in many ways, Bear is the villain of this film because the entire time he refuses to take any responsibility and like just be honest with her and say I like you. She gives him even like that opening scene. He gives her a ride home, and it's so interesting. I really want to see the movie again because I feel like there's probably little Easter eggs
You
in there
do?
where. Yeah, I do want to see it. I really liked this movie. I
Yeah.
really liked this movie. And I'm honestly not a big horror fan either. I just thought it was so smart because class, what ends up happening is he gives her a ride home after they're at the bar, and there's a little flirtation between them at the bar. And
Mhm.
it does seem like she likes him. He tells her that his cat
Yes, it can
died,
go
and
either way for sure.
she's very like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And, the friends are going to hang out and drink more and she wants to go home. And so he offers to like give her a ride. And there's this moment in the car where she's like, do you like me? I feel like you like me. And he just is like, bleh, 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 bleh. I don't. She gives him an opportunity and then he negs her, which, Ian suggested that he do like call her some nickname,
Oh, freaky
easy
Nikki.
freaky Nikki, and she doesn't like that nickname, and she's seems very upset by him saying that. And he then turns around and uses this little thing to make a wish that she would be obsessed with him. And throughout the film it is obvious that like she doesn't really like him, and he knows that like the real Nikki is in distress, and yet he still continues this like fake relationship with her. I mean, the first time they have sex, she's laying there like a zombie. Like she's not into it at all. She's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like very
I
creepy, you know?
I hear you on. I mean, that was one of the things that really felt implausible in the film to me. The idea that
Mm.
like we spent the first quarter of the movie, 20% of the film, with him being like, "I'm gonna say this thing. I have to do this thing," and then class he doesn't do it, and she leaves. Right? She
Right.
gets out of the car to go home, and then she doubles back and comes back down the car and goes, "Do you like me?" And he's unable to say it. I completely believe that psychologically, but
Hmm.
I'm like, if your good friend again opened up to you and were like, "Do you like me?" She's given you all of the runway. Why would you not just go?
You're not
No
a
matter.
straight man. You are not an incel. That's what the difference is that these are men. These are men. This is what I think is smart about the film is that it is portraying a sense of entitlement while also being an absolute coward. He thinks he's entitled to this woman because remember in the scene class at night, it seems like the real Nikki is kind of like wrestling
Yeah, she
inside.
like breaks out a little bit. Yeah,
She's like, "Oh my god, kill me, help," you know? Like, "Oh
yeah.
my god, this is terrible." Like I don't like she's scared, right? And he at one point says, "What's so bad with being with me? Like why wouldn't you want to be with me?" It's like, "Bruh, the real Nikki is gone. This weird possessed demon is in love with you, and the real Nikki is going, please kill me. I am miserable." And he's like, "Well, you know what? You don't want to be with me?" It's like, bruh, like just
That
accept that
was
she's, like that
like
is cool.
that is also weird to me because once this he is wrestling, so he makes this wish, she becomes obsessed with him and just won't leave him alone, right? And he is freaked out by it, right? He
Hmm.
likes it, but he also we see him like really being like, "This is too much. I need to calm down. We need to reverse it." But then that was very weird. If you're trying to get out of this situation, if she's scaring the fuck out of you, which she was scaring the fuck out of me,
Hmm.
moving all crazy in the dark, girl. He was like at one point he was like, "Nikki, just don't move like that." You know what I mean? She's
Yeah.
scaring you. I mean, I can see the psychology of like asking the question, but he was like, it was like he wanted to keep her that way, and I was like,
Yes.
"No, she's
That's what that's
asking you to get out. Why would
but
you not
that's
want to
what
get
it,
out of
but
there?"
that's what I mean, the entitlement. He doesn't want to get out of it because he's still fucking her. He's still getting to have sex with this weird demon chick. And you
That
know
is
what?
crazy.
She is possessed, so I know it's bomb. She put that good on him, and he said,
You were just saying she
she's
was like comatose while you
she was, but for somebody like him who has he is not raking in the puss. You know what I mean? Like he is
Yeah.
clearly somebody he's an incel. That's the class, it's involuntarily celibate, meaning he's not having sex and he feels like that is more important than having an honest to goodness real relationship. Because you're right, throughout the film she gets fucking weird and he never says to his friends, "Hey, this is what's going on." He has multiple times to be like, "Hey, I made this wish," or "She's acting like this because something is like, she's mentally ill, something is happening." And he doesn't say it. And even when his friend Ian, who's a terrible person, says something's wrong with her, he gets defensive and he's like, "No, she's fine." It's like
Right. Well,
everybody
because
sees something's wrong with her and he's making excuses because even though she's fucking weird, he would still rather her be obsessed with him than to not be with him.
I think it's more complex than that. I think it's also the fact that it means he'd have to admit the wish, which is, if out of class, I don't know if you've seen the 1980s film Big with starring Tom Hanks, where, he goes to this amusement park and he makes this wish to become this kid makes a wish to become an adult and then is an adult for, I forget how long, like a week or
Mm.
something like that. So it's
Hmm.
very Big meets like Fatal Attraction,
Yeah.
meets The Ring, like it's all mixed in there. But I do think the idea that, and this is complex and interesting, the idea that he'd have to admit the magic of the wish, which he believes, but how do you explain that, right? And
Yeah.
then how do you explain the fact that you actually wish that on her, on top of,
Hmm.
wanting to be with her and all that? So it's like really layered and dense.
Yeah.
I'll
That's
grant you that.
That's what I liked about it because I think on its face value, yes, it's a horror film, but I think it's also about consent and like bodily autonomy. Like it was more important to Bear that he have her than to like actually have her want to be with him because she's like a victim. She's trapped inside of her body and he knows this and he's like not again like I didn't want him to kill her, but ultimately the film it gets so dark because she starts killing people to be around him,
Oh my
and
God.
then he decides to take his life, and like ending his life
Well,
is the only way to
yeah.
like save her, but now he's ruined her life. She wakes up essentially and has no idea what the fuck has happened because he made this wish. He felt so entitled to her. I mean, that to me was just like holy I sat
Yeah.
there like stunned.
I loved when she came out of it. So classic. And like Fran was saying, the only way to break this kind of curse, I'll call it, on Nikki is if his life ends so that she's not obsessed with him anymore. And it does in the end. And then she comes to, and it's the whole film ends where she's like, it kind of reminded me of a Mia Goth film in some ways. Mia Goth is, I think, so brilliant.
Yes. So the
But
actress said that she studied Pearl and
okay.
her Hereditary and Get Out, the woman who has the moment where she's like, no, 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 no. Like she kind of used that.
There was a no moment in this film too that was really great.
She said
Yeah.
that she referenced that in her like research to kind of create the character. So
Yeah.
you picking up on Mia Goth is really smart because she really used that as a reference.
It's very apparent, and I'll say this though about Bear and the character. Right, this is not to excuse anything. I think everything you're saying is right. I don't know. We often want to paint a villain. We want someone to be the bad guy and be like, "You did all of the bad actions," and the whole movie unfolds because of his obsession, which becomes her obsession. I'll totally grant you that. But I think there's also the actor who played Bear was actually pretty good. I really liked
Yeah,
him
I thought he was
because
good
there was a
too.
lot of vulnerability that we saw that he was just unable to be vulnerable with everyone else, with Nikki, and he was like blocked there, and that's not to excuse anything that he did, but I think there's also a conversation to be had about like not just painting him as a villain and saying all incels are fucked. No, they aren't vulnerable enough. They don't have space enough. Society hasn't afforded, and this is excusing, I guess,
But
perhaps
they're
a little
still
bit.
entitled. Like they're not going to be vulnerable, but he still is like, I need her to be obsessed with me. And I need to be in a relationship with this person who's not a real person.
Well, and I would say, like, yes, everything you're saying is right, but I think when we talk about masculinity and when we talk about society and our inability to be vulnerable, right? If you don't have those tools but you have the desire, the very human need to connect, like that's where all of this is fostered. The entitlement comes from not only like, I think society telling maybe white men that they get everything, but it also like the human need, right? The
Yeah.
need to connect. And if you don't have the facility or the emotional intelligence to understand how to do that or how to be vulnerable, then you're stuck. And I think, again, it's all compounded, right? It's all part of the same thing.
Yeah.
So yes, all of his actions are fucked up. But I do think, despite him not acting after the fact, I do think he has the desire to fix it. He just doesn't have the tools, which is
Yeah.
really fucked up.
I mean, I don't know. I think for me, it's hard to see that he has a desire to fix anything because at multiple times before he gets to a place where he decides to make this wish, he's confronted with opportunities. Again, the friend is a terrible person. He set him up, but like he also is saying, I want to tell her. I want to tell her. And over and over, he continues to make the choice to not do it to the point that she says to him. And again, I just feel like that moment is so powerful because to me it says she knows he likes her and she's been waiting for him to make a move. She's been waiting for him. She's like, yeah, I'll ride with you. Sure. I think she's opening the door for him and being like, walk through the door. Like walk through the door. And he just can't do it. And I think at some point, sure, we all have times where we want connection and we don't get what we don't get the things that we want, but at some point like you have to meet the moment and you have to try. And I think that to me that's like kind of the underlying message of it is that like he still feels entitled to the thing without doing the work for the thing. And that like he didn't have the balls to say I actually really like you and I would love to take you out but he still wants her to be obsessed with him. And
Yeah,
he knows it's wrong, and he's still like, I'm into this.
yeah, I hear you. I hear you. And you're honing in on that part of it. But I think for my money, you're missing all of the buildup. You're missing the
No, I
fact that
saw
like
the
the
buildup.
entire no, well, you're discrediting it, I think. It's the idea that like the whole film starts with him sitting down with this waitress at a diner, which I fucking love this scene. It was a misdirect.
It was a great
He's
misdirect.
working through or confessing his love for this this waitress, and the camera pulls back and Ian's sitting there coaching him through it, right? And then his cat dies, and you see, talk about saving the cat, right? His cat dies,
wow.
and you really do save the cat class in every film. The protagonist has something that makes us go, we're rooting for you, right? There's something that Nikki at one point, sorry, I'm conflating, jumping around, but Nikki at one point asks somebody for $20 and
She
gives it to a homeless man. So then we look at her and we go, oh, she has saved the cat. We have empathy for what she does and who she is.
And we also see why he likes her. We're like,
Yes,
wow, she's a
exactly.
really good person.
Right. It's fleeting, but it's enough, right? And so Bear's cat dies, and I think that's our attempt to humanize him and see his empathy, but also the buildup of like, he asks her to if she'll ride home with him. He has spent the whole part of the film being like, I'm doing it, today's the day. Ian tries to talk him out of it, and he's like, no, I'm doing it, right? He tries to do it at the bar. They're all gathering for trivia night, and he tries to do it at the bar, but Ian interrupts him and Sarah interrupts him, right? So he's trying to do it again. He's interrupted. He doesn't have the tools somewhat, not excusing anything that he does, but I do think it gives him not credit, but it's that save the cat thing. I have a little bit more empathy for him trying, even though he fails in the latter three quarters of the film.
And it's kind of suggested that the cat dies because he left his medicine out. So, like, to me, I'm like, I feel bad that you're.
Well, he did say, how did you get into it? But I mean, it is crazy. How does a cat? That's a pressure cat.
There is a child lock, and the cat suddenly got it open,
right.
Sir. I just feel like, if you, again, the pages are really working for you from the artist's way, because I do appreciate that you are trying to give him credit, but to me, it just feels like, yes, there were all of these obstacles for him to tell her, but like, it doesn't have to be that night, right? Like, if he didn't have the time to tell her, and then look, they sit there in the car. They're in the car together, and he still has all now. I mean, again, great misdirect, because he kind of takes a step by actually inviting her or saying that he'll give her a ride, right?
Yeah.
Instead of staying out. So he's like, okay, he's being a little bold.
Building. Yeah.
He's being a little bold here, right? But then it's like a step forward and then two steps back. Because again, I maintain she gave him that opportunity by saying, hey, do you like me? And
I completely agree.
And he just totally whiffs, and he still thinks
not having the tools, though. That's not having the tools or the bravery.
he doesn't have the tools or the bravery. So then I maintain, if you don't have the tools or the bravery, then you don't get the girl. But he still believes he still believes that he is entitled to the girl, which is why he makes the wish. And he doesn't make the wish of like, she realizes that like we should be together, or, I meet the girl of my dreams. He says she will be obsessed with me and more than anyone else in the world.
He said she will love me more than anyone else in the world. Yeah. I mean, I will say this. After the wish happens, I'm with you. We're on the same fucking track. He had ample opportunity to say something and he didn't. And that's cowardice. And it was, like I said earlier, it was layered, right? But I do think what was brilliant about the film, talk about a catalyst, was that Nikki gives him the opening. He doesn't fucking take it. And then my heart broke for him. She walks away and he's sitting in the car. He's like, what the fuck? Why? Why didn't I say anything? And then he just grabs for the wish thing that he grabbed and does it. Like, we all have that impulse. Sometime for you, it might be a sweet and a meat. Trying to grab that cupcake with some bacon on it real quick. You have a bad day. Listen, for me, it's some gummy
drag me.
bears.
A bad day will send me to the fucking ice. I will pull this car over and get some McDonald's right fucking now. I'm pissed.
Who you telling? Girl? Shit. So, like, I completely understand, like, the psychological need. And I think also, just to, like, I think the actor in me, class, she's an actress, but I think oftentimes what I try to teach my students, and I think really good acting is, nobody is a villain. Jafar from Aladdin does not think of himself as a villain. He just wants it more than anyone else.
Of course,
right?
They don't think of themselves as a villain.
Yeah, and
sure.
so I think a part of it is, why this is so nuanced is that his actions are bad, but I think I love the discourse of, like, is he the villain? Because there's some room. I still maintain Ian is the fucking villain, because he could have stopped the whole thing from jump, and he was coaching him through all of it.
Yes, I think he is a bad friend, and I think what also makes this, like, interesting and well written, and the thing that I think about a lot when I watch movies and TV shows is, like, it all feels really grounded in the sense that they're all keeping secrets from each other.
Yeah.
Sarah's not being honest about the fact that she likes Bear.
Yeah.
Nikki's not being honest about the fact that she's hooking up with Ian, but I think she kind of likes Bear a little bit. Bear's not being honest. I think she does like him.
Right?
I think he's not being honest with the fact that
nothing else.
Oh, she knows that she has him wrapped around her little finger, and that at the drop of a dime, he would do anything for her. She knows. We are not stupid. You can tell when a guy has a crush on you. Okay.
Right.
And then Ian is being a bad friend because he's sleeping with the girl that his best friend likes.
Right.
And so they're all keeping secrets from each other to different degrees. But also, like, that's what happens when you're in your 20s. That absolutely happens, where you're like, I have a crush on this person, and I'm not saying, and I'm pretending that I'm the. You didn't do that when you were in your 20s.
No, I'm just going through, and I know that was the true phase. That was me being like throwing in the history, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Yes,
because I didn't say that to this person, and that person, that
and again, to go back to what you were saying before about not having the tools, that is a very 20-something thing, where you're pining after someone, and you want to say something so bad, and you're like, oh, is this the time? Like, I'm not really sure. All of that felt true to me, and like for me, that's why I was like, oh my god, this is fertile ground, because as it's happening, knowing what the film is about, I'm like, oh, he gonna get what he wants, and it's not gonna be what he actually wants. It's gonna be terrible for him.
It couldn't be. Wait, so let's play this game. Tell me the craziest thing you did in your 20s around a crush.
The craziest thing I did around a crush? I don't know that I did anything crazy, but I definitely hooked up with someone that had a girlfriend. I had a few, like, this is also just like Francesca being really insecure, and like, and
that's where it comes from. Look at Bear.
Being insecure and wanting so badly to, like, have, like, attention. This is at a time when I, like, thought I was straight, and even that, in hindsight, realizing, like, I had female friends that I was very clearly attracted to, and I was, like, jealous of them having boyfriends, and I was, like, being a fucking bitch and, like, starting little fights with them and shit because I felt jealous, and I didn't really know how to
and
express
you didn't have
it.
the tools.
I didn't have the tools. But to your point about, like, someone that I was interested in, I remember in our school there was, like, a stairwell that had, like, a little hidden area under it, and I definitely hooked up with a boy under those stairs. And I remember
the school day?
During the school day, we cut class and we hooked up under those stairs. And I'll never forget, Delon, I have a little titty. I used to wear a fake. Little titty. I used to wear a fake little foam boob.
Oh, Fran,
I just remember hooking up and being like, oh, this one.
Wait, because it happened. It just kind of happened, and you didn't have the foresight to go, let me pull her out.
What was I going to do? Take it out and be like, hold on 1 second.
Wait, and it's like bright orange.
And it's bright orange. You guys, it's not light brown, and it's just like a little cup that your tit fits inside of. And it was like I couldn't even enjoy. I mean, granted, it was just like my boobs were getting felt. but like I couldn't even like be in the moment because I was just like, I was like, it was like the telltale heart, like the tit was like, do 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 do.
Mortified.
Wait, what was the craziest thing that you ever did because of someone you had a crush on?
I became a little bit of a stalker. Um, like not like a stalker, not like a stalker, like I'm outside your door, but this guy that I had a crush on.
Were you out? Were you out?
No. This was like sophomore year of college. I didn't come out till junior year.
Okay.
I was bi, right? I'm not to poo-poo anyone that was bi, but for a lot of us older millennials who are gay, especially men, bi was a stepping stone.
It's a step, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
And it's not fair to you all who are bi in the world, so forgive. But anyway, I saw this guy on at Starbucks on South Street. And I was so obsessed with him. I'd seen him on campus a bunch, and he would be there all the time. And then I started like passing by the Starbucks on my way to class or after class,
and conveniently being there when you didn't need to be there.
Yeah, and then and this is how I became a coffee drinker.
Oh my god!
I swear to God, I drink so much. I drink so much caffeine. So I would go to Starbucks and I would order caramel macchiatos, which is a $7,000 drink, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there staring at him, drinking my caramel macchiato, and then I'm up. I come from a poor family. I was on work study. Friend, I looked at my bank account and I was like, $500 on Starbucks? Wow. I can't. What the fuck, Delon?
Wow.
So then I started buying regular coffees, and then I auditioned for the acapella group he was in, and then I got in the acapella group, and then they called me out. I remember, we're at a house party for the acapella group, and we're all like huddled taking a picture, and this woman goes, "You really like Ryan?" And I was like, "No, I don't." And then I looked at Ryan, drunk. I looked at Ryan and I was like, "Oh, this is my freshman year, excuse me," because I was definitely drinking illegally, and I was like. I was like, "You don't like me," and he was like, "No, Delon, I love you." I was like, "No, you don't," crying. And then this woman was like, "I knew you got in the group just for him." And I'm like, "No!" I went home, cried all night.
Why
so
does
sad.
Every gay friend I have, because my friend Freddie has a moment like that too, where we were in high school and I was drunk and throwing myself at him, and he is crying, "I'm not pretty, and I'm like, wait a second, I've been trying to sling this puss at Freddie the whole night, and he is not interested, and he is crying on the floor. Oh my God, I did not know that story. Well, you and I weren't really that close freshman year.
Not until the very end. When we did the show freshman year, that's when we became really close. Yeah. So I became a little bit of a stalker. And class, please let us know in the comments or send us an email, because we're trying to tell your secrets, right? So we've just told a few of ours. Please let us know. Let me fix it at Gmail. Let me fix it pod at gmail.com or DM us at fixitpod. One other thing I wanted to say about the film. Do you know what Chekhov's gun is?
No.
So
is this a theater thing? I know who Chekhov is.
Yeah, theater history lessons. So there's this writer, Anton Chekhov, a Russian playwright in the early 20th century. And he's wrote all these plays that are really about Russians, kind of affluent Russians living their lives. Three Sisters is one of his plays, The Cherry Orchard. A lot of the plays are just people living their lives, pining for other things that they don't have in life, right? So they can seem a little slow, but they're very funny. But he has this play, The Seagull, where a gun comes out at the very beginning. And so the writing trope is, if you know a thing, a gun in particular, or something big, violent, comes out at the beginning of a play, a movie, that has to come to fruition in the end, meaning the gun has to be shot. Shot, if not, someone has to die. So as soon as, back to Obsession, as soon as the cat dies from the pills, the whole film I'm sitting there, I'm like, when the pills coming out? Pills, Chekhov's gun. The pills have, and in the end, he takes the pills, and that's how the curse is broken, and he dies.
It's a full circle moment in that respect. Yeah, there were a lot of those really smart, often class we call them Easter eggs. Like when he goes to buy the One Wish, the lady in the store is like, and then people come in here and they're all mad because it ruined their life. And he's like, why did it ruin their life? Because they got exactly what they wanted and it didn't turn out the right way. And she's like, yeah, something like that. I was like, wow!
I love that
There
actress.
it is. Oh, she
because
was great.
she would say the thing and just stare. And I was like, that would tell me not to do this thing.
Oh, she was a like red flags, a bouquet of fucking red flags. Another moment that really made me laugh is when Bear calls the hotline on the back of the box. Delon, the guy on the other end is the actual director.
Is
Curry
it really?
Barker. The director is playing the voice on the other end, and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" It's just like this dude bra. And there's some speculation, because I went on Reddit to see like fan theories. There's a speculation that like the guy on the hotline is like the demon that like grants your wishes. And you can hear Nikki in the real Nikki in the background screaming.
You can hear her?
You can hear her screaming, Dawn, because he said, "Do you want to talk to her?" And in the background,
I remember that.
You hear her screaming in the background.
Maybe is it really? It's really loud. Her screaming.
I mean, it was loud enough.
Noticeable.
It was noticeable enough that that
I
says,
do recall that now.
Yeah, he says, "Do you want to talk to her? She's right here." And you hear a woman screaming in the background.
Yeah, I think I was so freaked out by the moment because like the fucking music comes in and I was like, oh my god, yeah.
Well, and then he says, "Are you calling because you want to reverse the wish?" And he's like, "Well, I'm not really sure." And then he goes, "Yeah, actually, reverse." He's like, "It doesn't work like that." He's like, "Then why the fuck did you just say?"
That's what I thought you were going to start with, because that shit blew me away. When we talk about a misdirect, he was like, "Oh yeah," like presenting. He's like, "Well, then why did you ask me if I wanted to reverse it, motherfucker?" It was
I just thought maybe that's why you were calling. We can't do that. Either you kill yourself.
He does a good writing, though. I think the script is really well organized in that the demon, if this is the demon, he does go, well, what you could do is you could get someone else to make a wish that'll reverse your wish. And then that sets him on another path, like for the third, the last third of the movie. It's really great.
Well, even going back to the store, the guy at the store was like, "I got everything I wished for. Things are good, going good for me."
Wait, and he goes,
"He wished for?"
Class, Bear walks in, blood, like Sarah's dead. He's had all this traumatic. I think Ian's dead. She shot Ian in the head, and then the guy's like, "Don't come in with that energy, man."
He's like, "No, absolutely not."
Whoa. You would walk in here like that? And then he goes, "What do you mean, One Wish Willow?" "Oh, it's over there." He's like, "Well, then walk in." So it does have that Jordan Peele. I hate to compare it to other things.
Yeah.
That Jordan Peele humor in the horror, which I dig. That was fun. Right?
So that was what was really interesting, is there were a number of people that were saying, "Oh my God, like all of these comedy writers are doing horror," because the guy who wrote and directed Weapons was also a comedy writer. He was in a group called The Whitest Kid You Know. And now, Jordan Peele, and then Curry Barker is being included in there. And what I thought a lot of people were missing is that comedy and horror are very similar in structure. It's about tension and release.
Sure.
Like when you are writing a joke, you're setting up the premise and then you pay off the premise in an unexpected way. That's what happens in horror. We set up a premise and an idea, and then we pay it off in an unexpected way. You get something. It's not what you asked for, but you are going to get something. And that the shock, the jolt that you feel when you are scared is very similar to the jolt that you feel when a joke hits you and you go,
"Ah!" That was shady and pointed.
Was I wrong though? Think about it, Delon. When a laugh takes over you specifically, this is the thing I love about making you laugh, and the class all agrees you have a great laugh for this reason. It feels so genuine because it feels like it has surprised and attacked you.
It really has.
Like a jump scare.
Yeah, totally.
And your heart is racing and you're like crying and you're feeling all of this like race of emotions, and the anticipation when you are watching something scary and then it's the release. It's the same thing. It's the same feeling that you get when a joke is good. And so it's not surprising to me when good comedy writers explore horror, or similarly, when comedic actors like a Robin Williams are
Yeah.
able to deliver, or Jim Carrey are able to deliver drama because they understand like the innate ways in which we can manipulate our emotions to like hook the audience and then give them, a release that feels satisfying, even if that satisfying feeling is fear or sad or an anguish.
One thing I would add to that, and I think when you're talking about Jim Carrey and Robin Williams and their ability, I think you're so spot on. Obviously, you're a writer, a comedian, and everything, an actor as well. I think when you understand structure in that way, like I think all of us understand story, right? We grow up with fairy tales. We understand
Mm-hmm.
how things like the 1, 2, and 3 of it all, right? The
Mm-hmm.
tension and release of it all. But you and I, and artists and people who create, we understand how it works a little bit more. We understand how to fit ourselves into it. But
Yeah.
also people who consume art and go to comedy shows, they also expect that as well. When you subvert their expectation, that's when happens, right? Like honestly, this
Mhm.
movie does that a lot, and it's not only the jump scare. Like there were several jump scares in this movie, which I text Fran class. I was like, my fucking voice hurts from these jump scares. I'm screaming, but when you set something up, oh, he likes this girl, and we know it's not going to go to the way that he wants, but
Mhm.
we're unsure how the rest of it unfolds.
Yeah.
We're kind of pining for that. We're like,
Yes.
how is it going to go? So if you really
Yes.
can set us up really well, we're along for the ride.
Yeah, I mean, a perfect example of that ends up being a jump scare is when Bear and Sarah, he
Mm-hmm.
sneaks out to go meet with her, and they're sitting in the car, and I mean,
I said, what is wrong
she's
with you when he goes out? What is wrong with you?
you were like, this is about to go bad. I don't know what's going to happen, but she is about to show up. Nikki is not going to be happy seeing the two of y'all talking in a fogged out car, and Sarah is.
Because you heard so hot, it was fogged out, girl.
And Sarah is looking at him and being like, I just want to tell you a thing. And Nikki runs up, smashes that window. Delon, I
Oh my god.
screamed to the high
Yo,
heavens.
my legs were up into my chest. Class, we're spoiling. We've been spoiling the whole hour, but like she has a brick and she is beating this woman's head. Like at one point, the camera comes and you just see her eyeball. I'm like, why did you do that to me?
Ooh.
Why did you do that to me? Okay, listen.
Yeah.
You know
Oh
what?
my God.
I was a little bit like, I don't know. Hers not my genre. Unpacking it, I've come around. I've come around. It's a good film.
Okay.
It's a well
Okay.
organized script. It's a good film.
Okay, so this is a good place to wrap. What would you rate this film? You could do stars, you could do letters, whatever you want. And would you recommend this movie to people, especially, again, considering you're not a horror person? There are a lot of people who either love horror or they hate horror. So, would you recommend this to a casual person, maybe somebody who's like, I don't really know if I like these kind of movies or not?
I would preface it. I would have a caveat. I'd be like, hey, how do you deal with horror? If it's not your genre, I wouldn't go see this film. Because I had to watch something else because I was like, I'm gonna have nightmares. So so I would say it's a good film. And if you are interested in not only good films, but good storytelling and like maybe interested in like dissecting the psychology of people, it really is a psychological thrill in a lot of ways too. So in terms of a rating, if I'm going out of like 5 stars, I'm giving it 4 stars. How about you?
Wow, I'm giving it 5 stars.
You're giving it 5
I
stars.
I loved this movie. It exceeded my expectations. The conversations that it's prompted with my friends, with the internet, for better or for worse. I think when a story is well done, even people who don't necessarily like the film or understand the film, if it prompts discussion, I think that it's done its job. And I think
Heard.
that that's really difficult. One in this climate where a lot of people I think lack the basic media literacy to actually understand the shit that they're watching, and with
Mm-hmm.
everybody being so plugged into their phones, they're not actually like enjoying what's happening on the screen. it's a big deal that the word of mouth of this film has gotten a lot of people to tune in.
Yeah.
And I would say I'm going to do 5 stars. I'm really excited to see what Curry Barker, what Curry Barker does next. He's already reportedly been offered 8 figures for his next film, and he hasn't even written
Wow.
it yet. So the
Wow.
world is his oyster at this point.
Damn. 8 figures? Holy shit. God
Yeah,
bless.
we are going to be seeing work from him for a very long time. And again, I'm going to use your optimism and say I hope this opens the door for more young filmmakers, women filmmakers,
Agreed. Oh,
some
women.
comedy. You know what I mean? Like, look, I know horror is cheaper in comparison to a lot of other films, but like
Yeah.
we need some comedies, we need some rom-coms, bring back like light and fluffy. Like I'm excited for that door to be opened. Heated
Mm.
Rivalry is a perfect example. Like give us smut, give us like
My friend,
give it to us.
my friend Doug said yesterday, he was like, yeah, I watched it, but it was bad. I was like, I mean, sure, but it was good.
But it was good.
I was like, sure, like if you want to dissect like the script and all that kind of, absolutely,
It
but
was
that's not what that
no,
is about. It was
yeah.
about pining relationships, acquiescence and all of that,
Tell us in the comments if you've seen Obsession. Did you like it? What did you think about it?
What is your
And
rating?
yeah, what would you rate it? But also tell us what's something crazy that you did when you had the itis for somebody.
What was
Somebody
your obsession?
what was the freaky things that you were doing to get a boo? Tell us in the comments, and maybe we'll put your comment in next week's episode.
So, if you are new here, which we know there are a lot of you, we have this section called Comments from the Class, which is you. You get in the comments on YouTube or DM us or comments on Instagram. And so I have a couple here. I have one
Great.
from IZO, the Dynamic Observer. You better have a name.
Mm-hmm.
They say, listen, I've been making stories since childhood, but what stayed with me was how my mom would say him and his little characters. Writing would feel just like a little hobby and not something with gravity. Combine that with the idea that the fact that my family doesn't have many people who openly spend a great amount of energy into creating. I think about those moments fed into this habit of me diminishing my creative efforts and not being as committed because I hear the inner critic say, sure, it's good, but it's not that good.
Was this from our Artist Way episode?
This was actually, I think we were talking about the Artist Way in our main episode, because we keep doing that. Class,
Yeah.
if you don't know, which I'm sure a lot of you do, Fran and I are doing the Artist Way. We are on week 4, heading into
Yeah.
week 5.
Yeah.
So please tap into that if you haven't yet. And so I think they were commenting on just some of the stuff we're talking about with creating and writing.
Yeah.
And then this is another one, but I don't think this has to do with the Artist Way. This is from Olivia Johnson 6043.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you have the same one?
I have the same one.
Oh, go ahead. You say it.
Okay, Olivia says, I would love an episode on friendship. I'm in my early 30s now and an introvert. I have a hard time making friends, and it seems it's only harder as I get older. I've had some success on Bumble Friends, but tips on how to make friends as someone who isn't in their 20s and in college would help me so much. Love the podcast. Y'all are awesome. So this was when we were talking about doing the Artist Way and how it's been resonating with people. And I kind of soft pitched the idea that I want us to maybe explore some evergreen topics that, could possibly help and inspire people. And we always get so many beautiful feedback or comments about our friendship, and that like friendship has kind of become like a passion project for me. And so this was one of many comments that we got saying that they would love to see some content around friendship. So class, tell us in the comments, what are maybe some things that you've done to meet people in your 30s and beyond? Because as Olivia pointed out, when you're not in college and you're not in your 20s,
Forced proximity.
it gets a lot harder. And, there's often conversations about like, well, you can make friends at work. And it's like, well, sometimes you want to be careful. sometimes you
'cause
just want to clock out and go.
well, so not forced proximity, but also like sometimes in your workplace class, let us know if you've experienced this forced fun where they go, "Hey guys, we're gonna go bowling," and you're like, "But do I want to spend 8 hours with you and then go bowling with you after?" Sometimes you might. I hope you do.
Go around and talk about what we're doing this weekend. Let's not. I would not like y'all to know my
We've
business
been
like
enough
that.
meetings, okay? I do want to offer Olivia some other things on top of what you were saying, because I think there are a lot of people who deal with this. I know, Olivia, you said you're an introvert. I just want to encourage you to be willing to push yourself outside of your comfort zone, right?
Yeah.
And be patient with yourself therein. The other day, I live across the street from a gay bar. I probably was talking about this on the pod before, but I was on the phone with a friend. And I was like watching all of these. I'm a single gay man. I live across the street from a gay bar. I saw all these, like this trail of gays going into this bar, and it's tea on Sunday, you know? And I was like, oh, I should just go. I should just go get a drink and like shake my ass a little bit. And like, you know, last time I went, I met somebody who listened to the pod, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And I didn't do it. I cracked a book. I cracked a book and sat my ass on my couch. Wish I had a glass of wine. So I too need to take this advice. Our mutual friend Shamika, Fran's writing partner, gives me this assignment regularly. We have weekly Spanish sessions where she's like, have you done your homework? Have you gone out?
Yeah.
Because I too need to make friends. So with you, I'm trying to be patient with myself and push myself past my comfort zone. So I encourage you to do that. And consistency, right? That's the other thing. Remember that practice makes perfect, as we always say.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I would tag on to that to say, like, hobbies and shared activities are a great place to start. Like, what are the things that you're into? You know, can you go to your local bookstore and see if they have a book club there? A lot of times they will have like a bulletin board, or they will have events for authors that come in, you know, into town.
Yes.
Can you go to one of those if you don't want to spend money? You know, I joined a tennis group when I first moved to LA. And even though I don't play tennis anymore, I'm still friends with some of those people that I met. And it was just from, you know, you're hanging out for 2 hours on a Sunday afternoon. And afterwards, people are like, we're going to a bar. Do you want to come? Like, what are you up to? We're all going to go see a movie. I've been taking art classes. I took a printmaking class here and I met a few people that way. I've met people in my apartment building and you know, also kind of, I realize that I'm an extrovert. So I'm speaking from a place of privilege in that respect. But like, sometimes it's as little as the lady in the grocery store that you always talk to, just being like, hey,
starting there.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought about this recently because I think I told you that my massage therapist, the place I was going to, went out of business. And so the woman who worked there texted me and was I got your number from the machine, whatever. So I've been getting massages from her. She's super sweet. She's 26 years old. She moved here from another country to go to college and go to massage school. And she's so sweet. And, you know, she said to me, she was like, I really don't have a lot of friends. And I was like, oh, you know, and I was so honored that she said that to me. And I was like, well, you know what? I think I'm having a party soon. I'll
Fran,
invite
you're so
you.
sweet.
You can come. And she was like, oh my God, thank you so much. And I was telling my partner about it. And he was like, oh, well, maybe she should try improv. And I was like, I don't think she's going to do improv, but like, joining a club, taking a class is a great place to start. She mentioned that she really likes to sing. And I saw an ad for a local choir in my neighborhood that was like, do you like to sing? We get together a few times a month and we go through pop hits and blah, blah. The ad was like, do you like this band and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I'm going to snap a picture of that and send it to her. So you really just have to say, and again, this was a great example of technically I do hire her for a service, but she put herself out there and said, I really want to make more friends. And I was like, noted. I was like, yes, I'm a little bit older than you, but you know, I'm going to have some people over. I can invite you. My boyfriend's friends are going to be there. There's going to be a mix of people. I'm like, you will meet somebody. The World Cup is happening. And I was like, look, better go to the bar, watch a World Cup game, and you need to be like,
you a German, ready? Okay.
Team whoever. You know what I mean? Can you teach me how to play? Ooh, I want to score. Like, you know, you have to put yourself out there. And sometimes it is as simple as saying, I'm trying to meet people. Or
Yeah.
again, like I talk to people in the neighborhood all the time. I become friends with a girl just because our dogs are always talking to each, sniffing each other, that she and I now go on a walk together. I don't
Oh.
know her, but like, we exchange numbers and she's like, the dogs really like each other. I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm down for that. And it just started from, we were seeing each other a number of times. We would always wave and say hi. And, I'd said hi to her for a year before I knew her name, to then just go, hey, what is your name? I see you all the time. Like, I'm sure, Olivia, you have those in your neighborhood that you could say, make a little bit more of an effort with.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult. You have to put yourself out there, but it's worth it.
Well, and I like what you said about like just talking to the grocery lady. If you are an introvert, like starting incrementally like that and just doing small challenges every day that push you past that comfort zone, and it'll feel uncomfortable, but like, that's the point. And let me tell you this, Olivia, Fran's dog doesn't like anybody. Fran's dog. So the idea that her dog has friends, she had to get that lady's number.
Yeah, he's come a long way, class. He really has. I think it's also just he's getting old. He don't got that fight in him anymore.
He doesn't have it anymore. He's just trying to get through life out here. Ain't we all flex? Ain't we all shoot?
Oh, my little old man. Class, we are going to wrap this episode early. Tell us in the comments.
I do have a glow up.
Oh, you have a glow up? Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's time for everyone's favorite segment. Before we go, I almost cut us short. It's the glow up, where we give props to those who've turned themselves around without our help. I don't have a glow up. DeLon, please take it away.
This is via Zohran Mamdani,
yes,
New York's mayor and our man. The mayor of America. So, class, you may have heard about this guy, Edwin Raymond. And friend, you might remember this guy. He was a NYPD lieutenant who was a whistleblower. So he's now a retired NYPD lieutenant. He sued the NYPD after being punished for not meeting arrest quotas that specifically targeted Black and Latino men. He's a Black man. And there were, I think, 11 other plaintiffs on this lawsuit suing the NYPD. He recorded them. I think there was a This American Life episode that came out where they played him recording it, and he got a lot of backlash, right? He didn't get good assignments, and so Zohran Mamdani said, I'm going to make him the sheriff of New York because we need that type of integrity in the NYPD. So he had retired and Zohran brought him back. Now he's a sheriff. So go ahead, Edwin Raymond, for standing on it, right? For standing on it. So I'm really proud of Zohran. He's doing it. Out here doing it, man. And also Edwin Raymond is back and able to, I think, affect some change in the New York Police Department.
That is, man. I mean, we do need to celebrate those stories. And that's why I love the glow up so much, because the world is a shitty place, but there are some little bright spots. And I think that's a perfect example of like, look, the system has many issues and is broken beyond repair in some regards, but this is clearly somebody who wants it to be better and has been on the receiving end to see that it's not, it was not working. And so I think that makes me hopeful that he's going to put the work in to kind of like do things right. And New York City needs that. Dare I say, all the United States needs that.
Yes, for real. I'm really, it's inspiring, right? Because there's a lot of talk when we talk about policing, specifically in policing in this country, that's just negative, So the idea that something positive is happening around policing, hopefully, and or there's the potential to, I really, I'm really happy about that.
Class, this was a fantastic episode. Don't forget, you can email us, lemmefixitpod@gmail.com. If there is a movie, a TV show, a celebrity, a book that you want us to talk about, a news story, send us an email, or you can send us a voice note. Just fill in the blank. Welcome back to Let Me Fix It podcast. It says whatever. You can send a voice note or send it to us via text, and we might include it on the show.
And if you are new here, we know there are like 1,000. Like we're like a 1,000 new followers.
Yeah, like 1,200. Yeah, it's wild.
Wow. Welcome. New episodes drop every Wednesday. If you like what you see, please, well, some of you have already subscribed, but stick around and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more.
I'm Francesca.
I'm DeLon, and this was Lemme